Cold, calculated, unstoppable. Few villains in gaming history command such presence as Albert Wesker. Over the years, Resident Evil has given us many terrifying threats, but none quite like him. A man who transcended human limitations, both physically and intellectually, to become the ultimate adversary. But what makes Wesker such a compelling villain? How did he rise from a corporate pawn to a godlike figure obsessed with his own vision of evolution? Good evening and welcome to the Dark Tavern, the horror nexus of the universe where all the creatures of darkness come to quench their thirst. So pull up a stool, grab a drink, and let's dive deep into the legacy of Resident Evil's most infamous antagonist. Wesker's story begins in the shadows of Resident Evil 1 1996. Initially presented as the cool and composed leader of STRS, he soon reveals his true allegiance to the nefarious Umbrella Corporation. But his villainy didn't happen overnight. His origins can be traced back to Resident Evil 0, where we learn about his partnership with William Birkin and his deep-rooted connection to Umbrella's eugenics-based experimentation. And like many of his colleagues, Wesker wasn't just a scientist, he was a man with ambition far beyond corporate espionage. Wesker's defining moment in Resident Evil 1 comes when he seemingly meets his end at the hands of the Tyrant. But, of course, death is just another obstacle to overcome. Thanks to an experimental virus, he returns stronger, faster, and deadlier than ever. By Code Veronica, he fully embraces his role as a superhuman mastermind, manipulating events from the shadows while testing the limits of his newfound power. As the series progresses, Wesker shifts from secret manipulator to full-blown villain, orchestrating global chaos in pursuit of his ultimate goal, reshaping the world in his image. Resident Evil 4 shows him pulling the strings from behind the scenes, while Resident Evil 5 finally puts him in the spotlight. With the Ouroboros virus, he seeks to create a new world where only the strong survive. But like all villains who fly too close to the sun, his arrogance ultimately becomes his downfall. Wesker meets his dramatic end in Resident Evil 5, taken down by Chris Redfield and Sheva Lomer in a battle that cements his place in gaming history. But even in death, his influence lingers. His experiments, his ideology, and even his genetic legacy continue to shape the Resident Evil universe. His son, Jake Muller, emerges in Resident Evil 6, while various bioweapons and factions still carry the echoes of his ambitions. Albert Wesker is more than just a villain, he's a symbol of Resident Evil's core themes: unchecked ambition, the dangers of bioweaponry, and the pursuit of power at any cost. Whether you love to hate him or simply admired his presence, there's no denying that Wesker left an indelible mark on the franchise. And with Resident Evil constantly evolving, who's to say we've seen the last of him? If you enjoyed this dive into Albert Wesker's legacy, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more horror content. Thank you for stopping by, and as always, have a wonderful evening.